What's up, everybody? Glenn Kelman, the CEO of Redfin, has proclaimed the housing market has hit rock bottom, saying the housing market suffers from arrested development. On the other hand, Warren Buffett is doubling down on the U.S. housing market, buying over $800 million worth of shares of three home builders, D.R. Horton, Lennar, and NVR, which, when you think about it, makes total sense. Redfin deals with resales, which, as we know, are historically low. Sales of previously owned homes fell by 3.3% to an annual rate of 4.16 million in June, the National Association of Realtors said on Thursday. The July data will be released next week. Sales volume couldn't be worse. The only people moving right now are the ones who absolutely have to, Kelman added. Between high interest rates and still really high home prices, affordability is the main reason people just can't buy a house today. And I'm not sure either one is going to change anytime soon. Treasury rates were elevated again last week following mixed data on inflation and more indication of resiliency in the economy, which may pose a challenge to the Federal Reserve's efforts to lower inflation, said Mortgage Bankers Association Deputy Chief Economist Joel Kahn. The 30-year fixed mortgage rate increased for the third straight week, reaching 7.16%, matching October 2022's rate and the highest rate since 2001. And as for home prices, the historically low inventory is keeping home prices high. Median price single-family homes are less affordable across the U.S. in the second quarter of 2023 compared to all historical averages, according to ATTOM's U.S. Home Affordability Report. Even worse, that's the case for 98% of U.S. counties, Adam reported. The U.S. housing market has done an about-face following a downturn that threatened to usher in an extended period of flat or falling prices. With that has come another blow to how much house the average worker around the country can afford, Adam Rob Barber noted. Whether this is just a temporary blip amid this year's peak buying season or a sign of another extended price surge is anyone's guess. It's sort of crazy if you break it down what buyers need to deal with right now. As Bill McBride, author of the economics blog Calculated Risk, puts it, with a 30-year fixed interest rate at 7.24%, a $500,000 home with 20% down would equate to a rough monthly payment of $2,700. If a home buyer had bought that same $500,000 house in August of 2022 at 5.25%, the monthly payment would be around $2,208. But if they bought it in 2021, amid the pandemic, the monthly payment on a $500,000 home with a 30-year fixed mortgage rate of 2.99% with 20% down would have been $1,706. That's a difference of $1,000 a month for the same house with the same purchase price. That is completely insane. Kelman said that this surge in the cost of owning a home, which we all associate with the American dream, is causing a generational shift. Baby boomers who were born between 1946 and 1964, who came of home buying age in 1991, owned a lot more real estate in their 30s than people in their 30s do in 2023. In the first quarter of 1993, those under 40 owned 20.6% of real estate, according to the Federal Reserve. In the first quarter of this year, those under 40 owned 14.2%. Money is just too expensive right now without the break in home prices, which leads us right into the U.S. housing market's winners, the home builders, and why Warren Buffett is betting on them. Builders are offering incentives to help offset the high mortgage rates, which can be really helpful to home buyers, like mortgage rate buydowns, money back at close, and price adjustments. These incentives are attracting buyers, especially the mortgage rate buydowns, because that affects the entire loan and brings down the monthly costs. To address affordability concerns in the market, we introduced increased incentives into the market and adjusted base pricing of our homes where necessary. Our most successful incentive recently has been interest rate buydowns. We are generally offering a point below market on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage for the life of the loan. D.R. Horton CEO David Auld told Fortune earlier this summer. Add that to slim pickings in the resale market, and new construction is becoming more and more attractive to homebuyers. The result is home builder sales are on the up. According to Redfin, new builds make up 1/3 of the housing inventory on the market in the second quarter. That's the highest share of any second quarter on record, with new construction keeping the housing market afloat amid the severe shortage of existing homes for sale. In Lance Lambert's latest article in Fortune, he quotes the latest performance in the home builder sector, with D.R. Horton and Lennar up 38% and 36.2% respectively year to date. Not too far behind is NVR, which is up 33.5% this year. For comparison, the S&P 500 index is up 16.3% this year. New home sales are up 23.8% year over year in June of 2023, but are still 32.2% below the cycle's peak, which occurred at the height of the pandemic housing frenzy in August of 2020. That being said, new construction does tend to be more expensive than resales for the obvious reason, it's new. And builders are still complaining about delays in regards to getting permits, as well as higher construction costs, which make the end product more expensive. So what's the answer? I mean, that's great for Warren Buffett, but what about everybody else? We seem to be at a standstill, and until rates come down enough for would-be sellers to give up their low interest rate to then go buy something with a higher one and put their houses on the market, inventory is going to stay really low. If rates do come down into the 5s, or better yet into the 4s, then I do think we'll see a huge influx of inventory, which will bring buyers back into the market. But will this solve our affordability crisis? Or will a more active housing market just cause a bigger frenzy? If you're a fan of Barbara Corcoran, she thinks that home prices will go through the roof if this happens. As of today, interest rates are at an all-time high, preventing those sellers or would-be sellers from putting their homes on the market because they don't want to trade in their low interest rate, then go buy something with a much higher one, thus keeping inventory incredibly low and buying a house completely unaffordable. But what are your thoughts? If you watched last week's video, you saw that a lot of housing market industry experts believe that the housing market has already recovered. So do you agree with them, or do you think we're in for more pain? Definitely write your comments below, and if you missed that video, check it out next. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Bye!